The grieving family of one-punch victim David Cassai has vowed to continue campaigning against violence after his killer was jailed. Emotions overflowed when Dylan Closter was told he will spend at least 6 years behind bars for the unprovoked attack at Rye on New Year's Eve. More from Emma O'Sullivan.
Tears flowed outside the Supreme Court for David Cassai. His friends and family united in their anger over the sentence handed to his killer.
6 years minimum. It'll never be enough, but it doesn't send a message of deterrence for a man who took my son's life.
Dylan John Closter bowed his head as he was sentenced to 9 years behind bars with a non-parole period of 6. He'd pleaded guilty to manslaughter. As an 18-year-old in 2012, he started the brawl at Rye, which left David Cassai dead and 5 of his friends injured.
I hope people start realising that it's not funny, it's not a game to ruin people's lives.
The judge said the attack was one-sided and unprovoked. Closter chased David Cassai as he was trying to walk away. He took big swings before punching David to the side of the head. After the 22-year-old fell to the ground, Closter bounced around like a boxer. As his group walked off, one of them yelled, "That's what we come here for." David's friends today wore T-shirts with the message, "Stop. One punch can kill."
And hopefully this doesn't happen to anyone else.
The judge accepted Closter's actions were uncharacteristic. The only explanation for the violence was the excessive amount of alcohol he'd consumed.
If they see that their mate's out of control or crazy, or they know that they shouldn't drink as much as they should, help them. Just don't let your friends do something they'll regret forever.
The Victorian Parliament has since passed tougher laws.
We absolutely believe that if you throw a coward's punch and somebody dies as a result of that punch, you deserve to be in jail for at least 10 years.
Emma O'Sullivan, 10 Eyewitness News.
The man who threw the single punch which killed David Cassai at Rye on New Year's Eve has been jailed for a minimum 6 years. The victim's family was distraught after the sentencing, his mother saying she doesn't think they'll ever get justice for her son. Court reporter Karen Huff.
David Cassai's grandmother, like all who loved him, is devastated by his sudden and senseless loss. The young landscape gardener died after he fell to the ground from a punch delivered by a stranger who disliked a street sign prank done by one of David's group. Dylan Closter, after drinking Galliano, crossed the road with friends and unleashed his aggression on several victims.
He wasn't a threat to Dylan Closter. David's friends weren't a threat to anyone that night. They just went out to celebrate a birthday and they just wanted to get home. They were ambushed and they had no chance.
Things unfolded quickly and violently. In less than a minute, multiple punches were thrown, 5 people were injured, and 18-year-old Closter was bouncing like a boxer over David's body. As the group fled laughing, one was heard to say, "That's what we come here for."
He worked hard. He loved his family, his friends. No one deserves this, but David definitely didn't deserve this.
The judge said, tragically, your immature, alcohol-fuelled actions have damaged so many lives, including your own.
Closter handed himself in after CCTV was broadcast. The judge said that was done out of pragmatism and not remorse. And when he was making admissions, he minimised and justified his role, saying he was acting in self-defence.
Closter, who has no priors, was jailed for 9 years, 3 months, with a non-parole period of 6 years for manslaughter.
I don't think we'll ever get justice. 6 years minimum. It'll never be enough.
David's friends wore T-shirts raising awareness about one-punch danger, his sister asking others to take heed.
If they see that their mate's out of control or crazy, or they know that they shouldn't drink as much as they should, help them. Just don't let your friends do something they'll regret forever.
David's supporters welcomed an increase in the minimum penalty for one-punchers to 10 years jail, which should take effect later this month.
We just don't have to accept what happens. Peacefully, we can all make changes.
Karen Huff, 9 News.
Grieving family and friends of Templestowe man David Cassai say he's been denied justice after his young killer was jailed for just 6 years.
They're campaigning against one-punch deaths in the hope others will be spared their pain.
A grandmother's grief.
Son, brother, cousin, friends.
A mother in mourning. Tears from friends and relatives, all for a young man who should still be alive.
We'll never recover from this.
David Cassai was just 22 when, on New Year's Eve 2012, he and his friends were set upon in a Rye street by a drunk 18-year-old Dylan Closter and his mates. It was, the judge said, a violent, frightening, one-sided and unprovoked attack. David Cassai was trying to retreat when Closter punched him in the head. He hit the ground and never woke up. As Closter's group fled, someone cried out, "This is why we come here." The apprentice plumber initially claimed self-defence, but eventually pleaded guilty to manslaughter and affray. The judge saying, tragically, your immature, alcohol-fuelled actions have damaged so many lives, including your own. He was jailed for 9 years and 3 months, but could be paroled in 6.
I don't think we'll ever get justice. It'll never be enough, but it doesn't send a message of deterrence.
While this sentence may not seem very long, the average for manslaughter is around 8 years. Working in Closter's favour is the fact he is so young and has very good prospects of rehabilitation.
The law is changing, but not in time for this case.
And under our cowards punch legislation, it will be a minimum of 10 years jail.
David Cassai's supporters are turning their pain into strength by uniting behind the Stop One Punch Can Kill movement. They hope it will be David's legacy.
It's all got to stop, and we're going to do this. We're going to do this for David, and he's worth fighting for.
I hope people start realising that it's not funny, it's not a game to ruin people's lives.
They're trying to make sense of a senseless loss. Kate Jones, 7 News.